Hi everybody, I'm Johny B. I've come back from Israel and I was there for 3 months. The Lord took me over. It was a miracle for me to go over the way I did. Didn't know anybody, but I had a fantastic experience. For the first 6 weeks I was volunteering in the IDF, the Israel Defence Force, and in that time the miracles that the Lord done through me, from people giving their lives to the Lord, it was just fantastic. But one of the most beautiful experiences that I had was the second weekend that I was in Israel, and my friend Abraham, and hi Abraham if you see this, we went to the old city, and we were going to worship on the Sabbath in the oldest synagogue in the world. But when we got there, it was closed. So not far from there, you come to a big square. It's quite a large square, and it was just full of tourists, backpackers, and we got to one end of it, and something just caught our eye. There was a little ultra-Orthodox guy pushing his way through, because it was quite crowded, pushing his way through from the other side, and he just kept pushing his way, and he came up to me, and he went like that. I thought, wow, I said to Abraham, I said, he wants us to follow him. So we followed him right through this crowd, and when we got to the other side, we went into the small streets of Jerusalem. Anybody who's been to Jerusalem, they're very narrow streets. And he stopped and looked around, and when he saw Abraham with me, he just went like that and pointed to me. Come with me. I said to Abraham, please stay here, mate, because, I don't know anybody here. And we started going up these stairs, and we walked up these stairs, and we come to this little ultra-Orthodox guy's house. And they were only small houses. They were as big as granny flats in Australia. And we went into the house, and we came into this little room. Now the picture in this little room is the mother standing there, just stone-faced, not moving. And on the bed, there's a sick little boy. He was unconscious, about 4 or 5 years old. And he had vomited, and he had soiled his pants, and he's just lying in that mess. And my heart just went out to him. And the father pointed to a ventilator that was on the floor, and he pointed to the switch to switch it on, because ultra-Orthodox people can't touch electricity on the Sabbath. So as I was switching it on, he turned around and walked out the room. And I stood up, and the Holy Spirit just took over me. And my hand went out on that little boy, and my hand went on his head. And I asked his mum if I could pray for him, bless him, but his mum said nothing. And my hand, when it touched his head, it was so hot. I'd never felt the heat in a human body like this little boy's head. And I know it wasn't going to move. And I looked up and I said, Adonai, please heal this little boy. And this was like for a minute. It was just that picture. Then all of a sudden, his head started to cool. And it was getting cooler and cooler and cooler till it just came to normal. Then his little legs started to move and his arms started to move, and he rolled over with this great big cheesy grin on his face. Then the Holy Spirit just turned me around, and I could see the shock on his mum's face. And he led me through the house. And when I got to the front door, the father had made poured 2 cups of Coke for me and Abraham. And we said shalom, and I left the house. And I was about 6 foot away from the house when I felt the Holy Spirit release me. And I walked to the top of the stairs, and I looked down, and Abraham was there, thank goodness. And as I was walking down, I saw Abraham's face change. And he just said to me, he said, you have had an encounter with God. We just got to thank God for that. Thank God. I just look at Abraham, who was such an awesome man of God. Why didn't the Lord use him? I look at all those backpackers in that square. Why didn't the Lord use him? He just used me, little old me. And I just honour the Lord. I know one thing, that the Lord heals, we don't. People say they've got these gifts of healing, but you know what? The Holy Spirit heals. All we are His children, His vessels, for Him to work through us. And when Abraham and I go back to Israel this coming year, we're going to go and see that little boy. Absolutely beautiful experience, and I thank the Lord for it. Thank you.